And we are live. We want to keep these introductions very short because I am simply here to halfway mediate and make sure that we are able to stay on the air and not violate any ethics or rules of YouTube. Big shot, Ron. We got Germ on camera, so you know it's a special occasion. Special guest, as you can see, in the Ball U Academy football shirt by the merch. We got Joe. We've got Zach behind the scenes. This is Champions League final preview, blue versus blue edition. I'm just simply going to pass this to Joe, and I'm going to step out of the way. Joe, what's going on? We are 4 days from the final. How are you feeling?
Hold on, time out.
Mm-hmm.
This bad boy is not even streaming. Hold on.
I got a notification. I thought, hold on.
I got it. I got the notification.
We're running this. We can run it back. I'll do it over.
Hold on.
It's the joy of life.
All right, there we go. Yeah, all right, there we go. Now I got an error message across my screen. Go ahead, keep going.
So
we live, baby.
It's Tuesday, but more importantly, it is 4 days before the Champions League final preview. This is Champions League final, blue versus blue. You got Germ. We got special guest MJ in the paraphernalia, in the gear, by the merch. But more importantly, we have blue versus blue. Manchester City, Chelsea. We have Joe. We have Zach, who's about to make the grand entrance. I have no idea what he's going to do. I am simply here to halfway mediate and make sure that we don't get put off of YouTube for violating ethical standards and practices. Germ, MJ, how y'all feeling? I'm just going to turn this over. Go ahead, MJ.
Now, I looked up on FanDuel, and there's a bet going on how many times Zach dropped the F-bomb. I took the over. So I did take the over. So, Zach, don't fail me. like the Foxes did. Don't be like the Foxes.
What's the over-under?
Right. I need the 8.5.
Oh, yeah, I got you, fam.
Yeah, I thought it was a gimme. I'm gonna use that money and I'm gonna buy some loaded brownies from J Ham. So the money's gonna go in the circle.
Absolutely. We got Germ in the building. Germ, what's going on?
Man, it's just a city kind of day. You know how it goes. City Germ in the building. We here. That's all. Just happy to be here. Talk to the fellas. I told y'all I'll be here this week for sure on camera. So let's do it.
So we are 4 days away from the Champions League final. And for the newly initiated, I'm going to put this into simple terms. Take the Super Bowl, take Game 7 in every sport that we have, and multiply it by 20. That is the Champions League final. It is the biggest sporting event every year. The only sporting event that is even in the realm of the Champions League final is the Olympics, and that's every 4 years. This is the biggest sporting event in the world every year. And this year, we are so glad that two of our representatives are involved in it. Joe and Zach represent Man City and Chelsea. I'm just going to turn this over now to Joe with some initial thoughts, and then Zach, whatever Zach is about to do behind that screen, I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea.
Anxiously waiting.
I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting until y'all are ready.
Joe, the floor is yours.
Hey, man, we are freshly crowned Premier League champions. It's official. It's in the books. We got to raise that trophy. Fernandinho and 10,000 Man City fans got to get our second trophy under our belts. I got to send Sergio Aguero out with a dub and 2 goals. So feeling really nice after a couple of wins in a row. They played really well. And I'm ready to get our third trophy in the books for this season. First Champions League appearance. Let me say that right off the bat because I know Zach's got ammo up the ass at this point for
days.
About this is the first time City's ever been in this position before. They've never made it this far before, and we've heard this story over and over again. So yes, we have never been in the Champions League final before. We've never made it past the semis. That is all well and good, but that is not going to have any kind of impact on what's going to happen on Saturday at 3 p.m.
You're right, because it ain't even gonna matter.
We shall see about that. Are you ready? Are you ready to come on here, sir? Because I haven't seen your face, and we've been talking for 40 minutes or so.
Without further ado, the other side of the Blue versus Blue podcast and rabid Chelsea fan. Drum roll, please. Da-da-da-da-da.
Yes, I knew it was going to be a face paint. Outstanding.
Zach.
Let's go.
Hey, did y'all see that?
Yes. Yes.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
Hey, man. I wouldn't expect. I ain't even gonna be mad at. Look, all right, Zach. All right, bravo.
If I had a cap, I'd be tipping it to you right now.
Hey, get up. I'm gonna give him his credit.
Oh my God.
Hey, we told y'all it was going to be different this week. We're not lying to you. So we have Chelsea, 2008 Champions League finalists, 2012 Champions League winners. Zach, 4 days to the finals. Talk to me. Talk to the people. How do you feel?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Like you said, this is take Game 7, take the Super Bowl. This is the equivalent of the World Cup every 4 years, the Olympics. Like, this is it. This is what everybody plays for. You can say, like, you know, MJ, I'm sorry. You can say that you can be happy with an FA Cup victory. No. This is what you play for. Yes, you play to win your league. Hats off to Man City. They had a fantastic year. Train stops now. We already stopped one trophy. You ain't getting the quadruple. You can have the double. You ain't getting the treble. The train does not go to Porto.
Let's come back to Manchester City, though, with a trophy. It's
going to be late.
We shall see. It's going to be fun. That's all I know. It is going to be a great time.
I even got the fresh kit for you.
I was going to comment on that. Yeah, that I see that you got the fresh one, man.
Mm-hmm.
Clean.
I got the
fresh kit. His face is painted.
This is why we're here, man.
Can we play tomorrow?
That's another final that nobody cares about.
Shout out to the NIT final tomorrow. The NIT final is tomorrow.
Exactly.
But Zach, Joe, I just want to kind of, for both of you all have had very different seasons leading to this point. Zach, I'm gonna actually start with you as the underdog in this match. Managerial changes, formation changes, a lot of different things have happened with Chelsea and had kind of a struggle down the stretch. Were able to save top four. How are you feeling going into it about the club? We know you and Joe got the banner back and forth, but from a football point of view, how are you feeling going into the Champions League final?
Come talk to me on Friday when I know the status of Mendy. Because that's going to be a game changer. If for whatever reason Mendy can't go on Saturday, I'm going to be way less confident. Not to say that Kepa can't do it, because he has, he's actually played really, really well this year. But he hasn't played, near the level as what Mendy has played. Mendy has the most clean sheets in the Champions League since Petr Cech, in that 2012 run when they won, so he has been the game changer for us. The back line has been, revamped. And if you look at Lampard's system to start the year, we were scoring goals. but we were also giving them up. So bringing Tuchel in, it kind of flipped it on its head. We're not scoring nearly as many goals, about half, to be honest. But we're also not giving up any either. So, points are going to be at a premium here. One goal could very easily decide this. It's decided the last two, as Jerem had pointed out, before the show started, the 2-1 Premier League match a couple weeks ago, and then the 1-0 FA Cup semifinal, I think it was.
Mhm.
Si, senor.
So, and we said this in the stoppage time group, but those two matches don't mean anything as far as this match goes. Like they hold no bearing, other than maybe Tuchel and Pep from a mentality standpoint. But Pep's too he's too good of a manager to let that dictate. That's not going to throw him off his game. At least I don't think it will. Although
Okay,
Joe and I are
Joe-
100% in disagreement on how City is going to line up for this match, so that'll be interesting to see who's right.
So, Joe, let's flip it back over to you. Man City, champions of the Premier League, champions of the Carabao Cup, and have had a pretty smooth ending for about the last probably 2 to 3 months. I think once City kind of took control of the league around January, it was pretty much a pretty smooth ride. So going into, as you've talked about, the first final in the history of Manchester City, and this has sort of been what this entire project has built towards. How do you feel about kind of, again, from a football side, the build to this for Man City?
For a quick recap on our season, we started off in not the best form. Early on, we were sitting, I think, 13th in the table at one point. Biggest issue to start the year for us was we couldn't score, which is complete opposite of what you're used to seeing from Manchester City squad. Bringing in Ruben Diaz has been the game changer for us. He has completely solidified the defense in the back line and been a real vocal leader for someone who's changing leagues, who's 23, who's younger than a lot of the guys who are starting to come in and be that vocal, demonstrative, demanding excellence out of all of his teammates at a new club like Man City. That's something special. So having him come in, huge difference maker for us. The biggest change happened when Pep re-upped his contract. That's when things really turned around, and we were having fitness issues with Aguero. We had Gabby Jesus was not in the best of form, and they kind of reverted to all front five of midfielders, rotating players in and out of that front spot. And recently, they've kind of settled on a formation that they really seem to like, with Kevin De Bruyne as the false nine, and he typically drops pretty deep, but he usually is the farthest forward. Most of the game, there is a lot of fluidity in what they do in the front. We'll call it five at this point. So they've been in a great run of form. Mid-season, we had an unbeaten run, just out of this world. They haven't been losing away from home either. So they are playing outstanding football, and there are no injury concerns at this point. Everybody is fit and ready to go. It really just depends on squad selection at this point and who Pep wants to reward with the start. That's just the biggest thing for me. I feel like I have a pretty good idea of who's going to start for us and what formation we're going to be running. But also, I would be remiss to not mention Ilkay Gundogan, because he put in, I think, 10 or 12 goals in a 14-game span that really that turned the tide of the Premier League for us, and got the season back on track, because nobody else was really scoring at that point. It was really him. He was the only one putting in goals. He's scoring braces here every couple games. So I'm supremely confident at this point. And my guys and my manager, he has, through the course of the previous Champions League competitions, we he would tend to overthink things, mess with formations, play guys in awkward spots at the wrong time. And this year, he hasn't been doing that. He's been pretty consistent with the lineups that he's been putting out and the formations that he's been running in the Champions League. So I think he's got that out of his system and has got his head in the right place. And the team just is come together really nicely.
So we're going to talk about actually the matchup of the two managers, because both of these two managers are coming from very different places, so to speak, as far as reputation, what they've achieved. And I think that's a fascinating storyline for both of them. But I want to get Germ and MJ. We like to talk to our newly initiated folks, as this is their first Champions League final and their first time experiencing the spectacle. So for Germ and MJ, both of y'all definitely put yourselves on take the mute off. We want to talk to y'all. How do you all kind of hearing these guys talk about it and what we've kind of pitched around? Just like how you feel about this kind of being your first go round with this? Just the experience of it, questions about it. Just talk to us about it as a newly initiated.
I mean, just for me, like, I'm really good at knowing what I know and knowing what I don't know. I absolutely know I don't know this. So in order for me to follow it, I try to compare it a lot to things that I do know, or I think I know. And the one thing that I know about this, or from what I've been seeing, just been studying kind of the last game as to what happened with Man City and Chelsea. It was different teams at that point as far as like rosters and things of that nature. But I did notice that Man City shots versus shots on goal was pretty much about 1/4, whereas Chelsea was a little bit more efficient, even though they didn't have as many shots, but they had 5 shots on the goal. Wondering if Chelsea did anything to kind of dictate the shots on the goal to be able to throw them off because they only scored 1 goal there, or was it just an off night for Man City because they didn't have their full players? So that's going to be the chess match for me. And obviously the injury is something that we definitely going to want to pay attention to, even though the manager actually said it's not too serious. So I do expect Mendy to play. I mean, this is, like you said, this is probably one of the biggest events in the world. I have a hard time believing he will sit this one out. He's going to figure it out. And with all of the ways they can get football players to play every week, I'm pretty sure real football players got those type of things in which they could be like, all right, we'll give this, you good for these 3 hours, then go lay down and take a nap. So
what this is probably going to be the best match of the year. And why I say that is we have the full complement of the rosters. Both of them should be healthy relatively and everything like that. Both of these teams are possession oriented. So that part of this makes this so fun to watch, because the possession aspect of it, from watching Chelsea when we were in watching both Chelsea and Man City when we were in Pittsburgh, watching how they really play very, very similar in a lot of different ways. I just think overall, man, the thing that I enjoy the most about watching both of these teams, which Chelsea is one of those teams that after seeing them play and the way they, even when they lost, it felt like they were never out of the game. It felt like it was just a lot of bad call. Me and Joe were sitting right there with them to watching the match. And we was like, yo, this feels a little messed up that they're not getting some of these calls here. Because this is blatant at this stage. So I just think that altogether, if this is what this is about, right? It's about putting the best 2 teams on the field and having it decided in a game like this. I'm here for this. This is what this is. The 2 best teams in the league this year will be playing Saturday. I'm here for it. We are going to talk so much trash during this game. I would not be surprised if we are not friends until Monday. It just be like that, you know. It's okay. It's okay, because I just have to ask Mr. Zachary, Mr. West, are we still gonna be cool after this ass whooping we give y'all this week? It's going down, baby. Listen, my first. This is what I'm saying. Man City Germ. We're gonna take care of business this week.
Do you even know a chant yet while you talking all this shit?
I will learn the chant because we
You
gotta
don't
get
even know
ready to
a chant.
sing. Hey, guess what? Hey, look, I've been infatuated with Pep right now. I'm in my Pep stage. Pep is that dude for me. Pep Hamilton, hey, Pep is my guy, man.
Yeah. And let's get to the managers. You talk about Pep. Pep is, I try not to make everything an American comparison, but there is a very Belichick-like, a little more intense. Pep is a little more wired up than Bill. Yeah, because
very
Bill's
much so.
yeah. Bill's on.
So he's Popovich without the wine.
Yeah, Pep is on caffeinated. He's on his coffee is definitely leaded each morning. So you've got Pep, who's won. He's won in Spain. He's won in Germany. He's won in England. He's just a serial winner. On the opposite side, you have Thomas Tuchel, who I thought his reputation was unfairly, to some degree, really damaged with the PSG experience, which is funny because PSG didn't win the French league, which is a whole nother topic. So I'm gonna go Joe and then Zach. Just quickly on the managers. Joe, talk us a little about Pep, and then Zach about the change from Frank Lampard to Thomas Tuchel now being here in the Champions League final.
Pep, legend in all aspects of the word. He started off at Barcelona and had outrageous success with them. That's the last time, though, he has won a Champions League title. From there, he went to Bayern Munich and did really well domestically and competed in the Champions League as well, but couldn't bring the trophy there. And pretty much since his time in Barcelona, Manchester City have had an eye on his trajectory. Most of the time, previously at his previous stops, he'd only spent 4 years max. So this year, with Man City is his longest stay at a club. And he's been the eye of the Man City front office pretty much from the time that he was in Barcelona. They've modeled a lot of what they do off of what Barcelona does. He has 12 seasons of managerial experience, and 9 of those he's won the league. So he is the model of domestic success. A lot of he has European success as well, but with City, we've pretty much been pulling in trophies every year he's been here, multiple. So the guy is
Except
fantastic.
One.
Except one. Yeah, we haven't got the one yet. Thanks, Zach. Thanks for the reminder.
Got you, fam.
And he is tactically fantastic. Sometimes to a fault where he overthinks things too much, which has been his Achilles heel in the Champions League at Bayern and at City so far. But more than that, if you just listen to the way the players that are under him talk about him, it's more than just he's a fantastic coach. He's improved me so much as a player. He genuinely cares about the guys that he's working with, and the people part, the relationships, is what has really made a big difference at City and with the players that he's at. A lot of players want to come wherever he's at because he takes their game to the next level. But it's also because of how much he cares about people. And it took was to watch after the trophy ceremony against for City on Sunday. He was in tears, pretty much talking about Sergio Aguero. And that wasn't just for the cameras. That he generally felt that. And if you spend any time watching City or the documentary, you can tell that he really cares about the coaching staff, the players, everybody that is under his control. So love me some Pep, whether he stays with us for the next 10 years or if he moves on to another club.
Zach, Thomas Tuchel, your manager, comes in mid-season, Chelsea struggling, and despite this little bump in the road toward the end, has turned it around, and now has got them to this place. Talk to the people about Tuchel and the job that he's done and he's continued to do.
Tuchel has taken a similar path to kind of what Pep has done. Although he started in Germany, made his first big noticing at Borussia Dortmund. Shout out Jerry. Kind of made them into a Champions League contender. Won the Bundesliga with them, I do believe. One of the few years that the Bayern Munich Invitational did not happen. And then he caught the eye of PSG, slid over to PSG, won the league, continued to do that. Last year actually made the Champions League final with PSG and lost to probably one of the greatest Bayern teams that we've ever seen. This is the same team that beat Barcelona in the leg before the final 8-2 over 2 legs. Destroyed Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez 8-2. And they only lost 1-0 in the final. And PSG's like, nah, that's not good enough. That's not good enough for us. So they fired him. We had hired Frank Lampard. He was coming into his second season, and Chelsea is historically not a club where managers have a long tenure. 18 months is about the running time for a manager here, and it's crazy to think that in that time, over the past 10 years or so, we've had like 10 or 11 different managers, and we've still managed to win the Premier League multiple times. We've won the Europa League twice, I do believe, and we've won the Champions League once. The last time in 2012, when, ironically enough, we fired our manager mid-season. We brought in Roberto Di Matteo, who saw it all the way through and took us to the Champions League final, where we were against, again, a heavy underdog against a powerhouse team, Bayern Munich, and they took it to penalty kicks. That was a fantastic match. It was Bayern Munich scored in like the 82nd minute, and I remember watching an interview with Didier Drogba, and he was talking about Juan Mata, who actually plays for Man United now, but he had gone to Mata and said, "Hey, like, you're the heart and soul of this team. I need you to keep me level headed," because Drogba's that high energy, like, he is 100 miles an hour at all points, and he's vocal too. He's not he's everything that N'Golo Kante is, but he's also loud and vocal, and everything that Kante isn't. So, I remember Mata calming Drogba down and saying, "Hey, there's still time. There's still time." And there's like 6 minutes left in this match. And then in the 89th minute, Drogba gets that header off a corner, served by none other than Juan Mata to tie it up, force extra time, and then go to penalty kicks, where it was one of the greatest penalty shootouts. Multiple saves, multiple misses. It was really, really good. But to go back to Tuchel, he's the exact opposite of what Frank Lampard is. So Lampard was the high flying kind of freestyle, like, I want my attacking players to get as many chances on the goal as possible, and I don't care if they go in or not, because if I shoot the ball at the net 160 times, it's bound to go in once. That's essentially his mentality. Tuchel's like, no, we don't operate like that way here. So he was completely the opposite. He strengthened our back line, switched our formation to 3 center backs at the back and 2 wing backs, and we stopped conceding goals because we were a broken dam at that point. We were we were scoring goals, but we were conceding far too many. So now we're not conceding goals, and we're finding a way to less chances but more clinical. So if I have 3 chances but they're all really good chances, the likelihood of me scoring one is decent. We've had our finishing issues. That's not a surprise. That's not anything that I will shy away from. But I think it really has to do with the personnel and the way that we're playing the formation. Timo Werner is not a number 9 in this formation. He can't. He really needs to play where Christian Pulisic plays. The problem is you have Christian Pulisic and Mason Mount who both need to play on the wings because they're not false nines either. And obviously Mason Mount is Chelsea's player of the year. He's, arguably was in the discussion for Premier League player of the year. Obviously not on the caliber that Ruben Diaz, because we talked about this on the previous show, that he was far and away our choice for the best player of the year. So he's kind of forced to play Timo Werner up top. And, Timo's had his issues. He's still done very, very well. And, it'll be interesting to see who he starts for this match, because if you look back at that Villa match that we just lost, when Kai Havertz come on, he had 4 shots on goal in less than 15 minutes. Werner had 4 shots on goal in the previous 75 minutes. So, we could see a situation where Kai Havertz starts up top and you have Pulisic and Mount out on the wings. It'll be interesting.
It's gonna be interesting. So we've talked about the background. We've talked about why this is a big match. We've talked about the managers. So you all have kind of played nice with each other for the first half an hour of this. So now we're gonna take the gloves off. I'm not a troll. I'm not an instigator. I think you all can do that without my help. Joe is that here is your time now to express your distaste for the others club. We are on YouTube. We are being recorded. I will just keep that in mind.
Hey, I got like 30 minutes to hit hit MJ's over here, so we got to get going.
We're just at this point just gonna let you two just kind of talk to each other, WWE, WCW promo style, and we're just gonna let you two have at it.
I default to the champions of England.
Whoever wants to go first, go first. I'm like Marshawn Lynch said, I'm just here to not get fined. Fellas.
You notice that even on a compliment, there was some underhanded, passive-aggressive ass shit, right? Y'all heard that, right?
Passive-aggressive. I just want to see the wildest shit that you come up with, seeing as that you have no idea what you're stepping into. You've never been there. Like, this is uncharted territory for you. You see that trophy in the background, right? You don't got one of those. You have no idea. You see the difference? Like, everybody looks.
9 years ago.
That's fine. I don't give 2 shits.
None of the guys on your team have played for one. They were not on that team.
You're right. But you know who was on that roster?
Who that?
Petr Cech, who's in our front office, who brought Mendy in, who has the Champions League tied for clean sheets. So don't act like that. Don't do this. You notice though, fellas, the 2 different directions that we showed up to this thing, right? I showed up to this because I'm ready to go to war. I saw Trav made the comment. I got the war paint on. This is it. Like, this is what we are here for. I am here for it. So you can sit over there with your nice petite little scarf and enjoy the match. Just remember that hour and a half drive home, it's gonna get real lonely, sir.
It will not, because I will be probably 10 o'clock by the time I'm driving home, because I'm going to be hammered, because we're going to be celebrating a victory in that bar is what I'm going to be doing.
Do people know that you're traveling to this man's house just to talk shit to him in person? Like, yeah, they breaking COVID guidelines for this. Like, they're going to be within 6 feet.
Some plans changed, so we're actually not meeting up, unfortunately. But Joe's going to, I think, DC to go to his Man City supporters bar or whatever. I don't know. Cool story, bro.
He's
You can-
just mad that he's going to be sitting there by himself watching and not being around other Chelsea supporters.
Why would I can enjoy a victory from the seat of my home on my big ass TV screen, eat whatever I want, not paying $9 for a beer. You joined in a bar with 100 other dudes crying because you lost another final. I'm just saying.
Notice this is just saying you're going to lose. There's no substance behind it yet, right?
What?
Why are we going to lose? Tell me that. Instead of saying you're going to lose and you're going to be crying. Why are we going to lose?
Tuchel is in Pep's head.
How?
Did you not see the last two matches?
Who did we play in those matches?
It don't matter.
It does.
Don't
That is
matter.
a huge factor.
Okay,
That is
so
a big factor.
cool. Who selected those lineups?
Pep did,
Oh, okay.
because those.
Nah, I don't need all that extra shit. I just want to know who selected the lineup for those two losses.
My goodness.
That's
My
all I'm
goodness.
saying.
I don't know.
All that extra shit.
Maybe because we weren't going to pull out our full lineup and our full actual formation to play against y'all that we were going to play potentially in the finals.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Why on earth would he continue running that same formation?
You're right. It hasn't worked twice in a row.
Correct. Because we haven't had our full complement of players doing it.
Maybe he's a glutton for punishment.
No, there is zero chance that
you're
runs.
literally
runs that back line.
hoping that he doesn't run three at
No,
the back. Because
I'm not hoping.
You are hoping.
He's not going to. I don't need to hope. He's not going to run that formation.
Because if he puts three at the back again,
he's
over.
not going to. He's not going to. Exactly. He's not stupid. Why would he run it out again?
Well, he ran it twice in a row.
And games that are not the Champions League final.
You had a chance to win the Champions League, or you had a chance to win the Premier League in that first match. Second match. And
that is a completely different story from a Champions League. That is not even the same thing.
Let's rewind like 3-4 weeks here when we were talking about how we were on track for the quadruple. Man City's never done this. No team has ever done the quadruple. And now it's different. No,
the winning, the officially hoisting the trophy is not the same as playing in a Champions League final. It's just not.
You're right. And neither is winning 4 trophies because you're not doing that either.
Darn, we just have to sacrifice for 3. That's just rough. That's just tough.
This could be real tough when you only win 2.
No. We didn't have to rely on Tottenham to get us into the Champions League for next year.
You're right. But you're sure as shit not going to beat us next year either.
All right.
Here's the thing. I asked for a reason.
Throw a towel at him or something.
I asked for a reason why we would lose, and I got more just shit talking without anything that going on. Because that's all he's got right now. Because he knows his squad is in trouble.
If we were in trouble, we wouldn't be in the Champions League final.
That could go the same way for Manchester City.
You were expected to be there. You were the favorites going into the fuck. You weren't.
We were not expected to be here.
Need 7 more.
I'm sorry. What?
Need 7 more.
If we backtrack,
we are absolutely we are not expected to. Nobody was picking us to get to the final because of all of the things that you just said that we would never made it there before. Nobody was picking us to get there.
Joe, I distinctly remember when the previews came out, the heavy favorites were Bayern Munich.
Those are betting favorites. That's not the same thing as what people expecting people to be there. That's just the people setting the lines to make money.
No, I'm not talking about betting. I don't give two shits about.
That's what it was.
Favorites. No, all of the media. You know, we all love the media because they fit their own narratives. But I distinctly, not to mention your boy Micah Richards.
Okay, he is a City homer. We're not even gonna use him as an example because he can't be subjective.
Well, agreed. Just like Jamie Carragher can't. But Jamie Carragher also said that Man City is one of the favorites.
I'm not saying we weren't one of the favorites. I'm saying people
That's
weren't.
all I was saying. You were one of the favorites to get to the final. You were expected to be here.
That's
We weren't expected to get out of our group.
Yes, you were. Come on. We all picked the guys to get out of the group.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to not pick against my team.
I said we all, not just you.
I'm just saying. Nobody expected us to be in the knockouts.
For sure.
Or definitely not even making it to the knockouts. You know, I still remember people saying, "Oh, they're not going to beat Porto. They're overlooking Porto. They're not that good."
Because those people are morons.
Well, agreed. Then we run into Real Madrid. Oh, here's where it ends. Here's where the storyline ends because it's Real Madrid.
Who picked Chelsea to win all of those rounds?
I did.
I did too, my friend.
Actually, you didn't. You picked Real Madrid, and I will screen cap that and bring that shit back.
I know
for a fact.
Just making sure.
Let's go.
Just making sure you were paying attention.
Of course I do. I remember that. That shit is ingrained in my head. Doubt us. It's the same shit that happened in 2012.
So it's only one game to determine the champion. Ain't no.
This is it. This is a one-off.
Hey man, anything can happen in that shit.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
That's what makes it. That's what makes this so intense. Is that you play group stages, you play two-legged ties, and now it comes down to 90 minutes and extra time. But it's 90 minutes. There is no tomorrow. Literally, there is no tomorrow after Saturday. And I think it's so interesting for Man City and for Chelsea. I think there's two sides to this, which they're both eloquently trash talking each other about. Is that the reality is City preseason City was semifinals was the benchmark for City probably when the season started. Now we know the matchups can be different, but City was supposed to at least make the semifinal. Chelsea's not supposed to be here, so they're. Zach is correct on that. City was the team that had the expectation to be here, and to be honest, I think the pressure is on City. I think,
I mean, and that's not a bad thing though. Like that's not a bad thing to be.
It's not a bad thing, but is it a good thing?
I definitely wouldn't want it. I'd much rather play the underdog role. I mean, you have nothing to lose. You go out there, you lay it all out for 90 minutes. It's and truthfully, like I joke about that trophy that's back there that we won and Man City hasn't. But in all seriousness, that was the same mentality they took into that game. They were labeled heavy underdogs. They left it all out there for 90 minutes. And they got a couple good bounces. That is the beautiful game. Like that is why we love it, because it doesn't matter at the end of the day when it's 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You got to the final for a reason. You are capable of playing at the best level. And truthfully, when I look at the Champions League and I look at the runs and the quarterfinals and everything, I truly believe, and whether people believe it or not, I truly believe that the two best teams are in the final. Based on that, I don't care what Chelsea has done in the FA Cup final and the last game against Aston Villa. I don't care. And like I'm talking a bunch of shit to Joe. I don't care about those past two games that Chelsea or that Man City lost. I don't. It doesn't matter. It has no basis. It has no relevance on this last match. It's 90 minutes for the next 90 years of your life.
Varsity Blues.
Yes. Yes.
Come on, man.
Get the blue theme in there, man. So we're gonna wrap this up in about 5-10 minutes. So I'm just gonna let each man, because we know who you all are picking to win. So I'm not even gonna ask that question. For each man, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. The floor is yours. Apart from just your fandom, Why is your team taking home the biggest trophy in the sport Saturday night? Joe, you can go first.
Collectively, Manchester City, I think, has a little bit more talent at all positions. Not all positions, but majority of positions. I think Chelsea plays collectively extremely well.
Right there. This is not the time for you all to be humble.
I'm not being humble. I'm
Tell
not done
me
yet.
why.
I ain't done yet.
Okay, let's get to it. All right.
Chelsea plays collectively really well, but individually, I'm taking Man City at majority of the positions on the field. I think they have more match winners. That I think De Bruyne, Phil Foden, Gundogan, the way he's been playing, I think there's more match winners on Manchester City's side. Defensively, we have been every bit as good as Chelsea has been since Tuchel has taken over. And I think we have more firepower, and that would be why Manchester City is going to be winning this year. I don't need the full two.
Zach, the floor is yours.
I'll tell you this. Chelsea wins this match because they've shown this in matches that matter when they don't get screwed by VAR, FA Cup final. Sorry, MJ. They are very clinical in games that matter. So, to me, Man City's going to dominate possession in this game. It's always Pep's MO. Tuchel is one of those guys that loves to dominate possession, but he will concede the possession when he needs to. And some of his best matches in the Champions League have come where he's conceded possession to a different team, Real Madrid, namely one of them, and he punishes them on counterattacks. I think that City's in trouble if they decide to line up in a back four. Because I think, and this is a little bit of gamesmanship from Tuchel, I think, and this is just me, I think Reece James, because Reece James has been playing in the center back position the past 4 matches. I think he goes back to his natural right wing back position. So you're going to have 2 very attacking minded wing backs. And I think that's if they line up in a back four, they're going to have a hard time containing all those attackers. That's just my 2 pennies. 2-1 is what I think the final will be.
2-1. Joe, what's the score?
3-1.
3-1.
3-1 City. So, Zach, we're in trouble if we run a back four, but we're also in trouble if we run a back 5.
I don't know. Truthfully, I think you'd be better off playing a back 5 with the right personnel.
Killing me with that, bro.
I know it's not what you want to hear, but it's the thing that
sounds like he's saying you're in trouble no matter what.
That isn't it? That sounds like that, don't it?
No, I think that your team better matches up with all of your better players in a back 5 against when you play a back 5. The best way to counter it is by playing the same formation. It's proven. It is. Proven.
I don't think you change what works for you to fit what the other team is running, though. That is not smart football, in my opinion, especially this late in the game.
Well, and I'm not going to say I disagree with you because obviously Tuchel hasn't done it. It doesn't matter. He's run that back 3 into the ground. But just be careful because when you have that many attacking players, if you let them sit in that box, you can find yourself down 2-3-0 quick, and then you're forced to scramble. That's all I'm going to say about a back 5. That back 5. I think that if City lines up in a back 5, I could very easily see Chelsea losing this match based on what City has. If they line up in a back 4, I think Chelsea has the advantage.
This is what is very exciting for me is because it really is going to come down to squad selection and how and where certain players line up on the field. Because it could be they run out a certain, what you think is, Pep is known to do this too, where he will, the lineups will go out and it'll look like a back four, but in actuality, where the players are actually lining up is not a back four. So I think we know, I think what Chelsea is going to do. The interesting part for them is going to be who TT selects to be out there to start the game, because we know what formations they're going to be running. But for City, on the City side, it's going to be how does Pep line up, and which I think probably 9 or 10 positions are probably locked up on who's playing for City. So it just really depends on who is out there, what tactics they put out, and where on the field certain players are going to be. So it's going to be fascinating to see.
I think likewise, I think there's not 9 positions that are 100% locked for Chelsea. The only 2 positions that are up in the air is that other 6 next to Conte, and who Tuchel decides to start up top. Is it Timo or is it Kai?
And there you have it. We've given you the background. We've given you the managers, the tactics, the strategy, what it means. It's the biggest match in the sport. It's the biggest sport event. I will promise you all this to the audience. Whatever happens on Saturday, trust me, Tuesday, when we take this show on Tuesday, it's going to be a very different move for one of these gentlemen come next Tuesday.
Maybe. That's all I'll say. Maybe.
Oh, if I know you two to the slightest degree that I think, how this goes on Saturday, we could have a very different sounding show on Tuesday.
So long as Tuesday goes without any major, like, iffy call, like a handball that doesn't get called, that's super deciding, I can take my medicine on a loss if the match is played at a high level and we just get beaten. Like, I can take that. Like, that's not a big deal for me. The better team can win. But if some bullshit happens, if some bullshit happens like that FA Cup final, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. And Tuesday is gonna be awkward.
And I am a self-proclaimed shitty loser. So by Tuesday, I'll be okay to an extent. I'll have some things to say, if in the same vein as Zach, as if there's a bullshit ass call.
The reason I know both of you are lying, because it sounds good today. But I know both of you well enough to know this isn't losing a wild card playoff game. This isn't losing the BCS. This is it. This is not going to go well for whoever loses on Tuesday.
I'm a terrible loser. I already know that from the get-go. I said that before, and I am bad at losing. I can take my lumps. I will say that all the shit talking that just went down between me and Zach, he is my boy for life, and I will be extremely respectful when we win. On the off chance that we lose, it's not going to change a damn thing about how I feel about that guy. So,
of course, man, ended on a good note. And then also, man, shouts out to the sports guy.
Before we go, let me ask you something, Zach. Joe said, this is on tape 3 times. So come Tuesday, there's no getting out of this. Joe said a couple months ago, City wins the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
He sings the Champions League theme song on air.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea win the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
Do we get another special entrance on Tuesday? What do we get Tuesday if Chelsea wins? Or is that a surprise?
Just wait and see. That's all I gotta say.
That's all I need to know.
Just wait and see.
That's all I need to know. Perfect. Remember, Stoppage Time FC is the Facebook group. Stoppage Time FC is the Twitter. It's all other the Scene family. Shout out City Germ. Shout out MJ. the Champions League final this Saturday. I am looking forward to it because I'm all for the story, and I believe it's going to create an absolutely epic show. No matter how this goes on Tuesday, be back here, Stoppage Time FC. We may talk a little bit of transfer windows, but I think we will be talking definitely about the Champions League final. Shout out to Zach, Joe, the Blue versus Blue podcast. Definitely catch it on the scene. Stoppage Time FC. We're out of here.